Good morning, friends, neighbors, countrymen, and barrel-chested freedom fighters from all around the world. It's the old Paratrooper again. I hope that everybody had a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Kwanzaa, if that's what you celebrate, or Festivus. But bottom line, I hope you've been able to spend this holiday season with your friends and loved ones, people that you care about. Because we're heading into 2023, and it's going to be a rough ride, folks. What am I going to talk about today? Well, been watching the news, and I've just kind of come to the conclusion that the only way we're going to save this great republic of ours is we have to radically downsize the federal government, many of the state governments, and the local governments. Because, frankly, they have too much power. They take too much of our money, and they interfere too much with our lives. Now, I'm going to pick on the federal government for just a minute, but they're pretty big old boys. I'm sure they can take it. All right. U.S. budget is generally around $1.5 trillion. That's a lot of money. Probably kind of hard to maintain proper accounting of all that. So, let's see. Let's look at some stuff here. I'm curious. Do you know we have elevators in the Congress? And all up to date and modern. Yet we spend $440,000 a year to have an elevator operator. Why? I'm sorry, if you're capable or have been elected to be elected representative or work on that staff, you should be able to press a button to take you up one floor and down another. But that's just one small, tiny example of waste. Here's another tiny example. We have the National Institute of Mental Health. Did you know they funded a study for $77,000 on coping in the Czech Republic? Now, the Czech Republic is a very nice, small country in the eastern part of Europe. I've been there, had a wonderful vacation. But why are we spending money to study that? You ever get the theory that maybe the federal budget is a giant money laundering scheme? I do. Here's a good one. We have an organization since 1977. We've had a Department of the Energy. One of their big jobs is they manage the U.S. nuclear infrastructure. And last year, they took about $129 billion to do that. What did we do before 1977? Oh, we had a nuclear regulatory agency. Did the same thing, probably a lot smaller. I would think with the Department of Energy, they'd be working on like cold fusion or something like that, some giant Manhattan project, especially for $129 billion. But no, they don't. I suspect most of it is a whole bunch of bureaucrats who really don't care about their job, go to work, draw their paycheck, and now we're paying their retirement. And don't even get me started on the Department of Education, which we've had since 1977 as well. Does anyone believe that our education has actually improved due to the Department of Education? I don't think it has. If anything, I think we've gotten dumber. The teachers that I went to school under, they were taught the craft of education by basically the same people that put a man on the moon using nothing but primitive computers and a slide rule. And we ain't been back to the moon since. And don't even get me started on the Ukraine. The Ukraine is a giant money laundering system. There is very little accountability. We've given over $100 billion to this president of Ukraine. And I will say this, in his defense, he stood up to the Russian bear. And I'm glad to see the Russian bear take its beating. But the Ukraine was an incredibly corrupt country known for money laundering. Hunter Biden. Anyway, Uh, and doesn't really seem to be a lot of accountability of all this money. I mean, $100 billion in 10 months. And Ukrainian soldiers are complaining they don't have enough food, ammunition, or reinforcements. All this money is getting funneled through these Ukrainian government, which is full of oligarchs, and through our defense contractors. Yeah, it's a scam. I mean, and who's paying for it? The Ukrainian refugees, Ukrainian soldiers, and the U.S. taxpayers footing the bill. Which, come to think of it, the Ukraine is in Europe. Why are we spending so much money? Let the Europeans take care of it. Bottom line up front, people. Our government, there are many fine people that work for the U.S. government and state governments. But there's a lot of dirtbags. There's a lot that are incompetent. There are a lot that are corrupt. Not just Democrats. I think Republicans like Mitch McConnell, Mitt Romney. To me, there's not a dime's worth of difference between them and Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer. They are part of a political elite class that doesn't care about us folks out here and the rest of the country. They only care about themselves, power, and how much money they can put in their back pocket. Bottom line up front, folks, we got to downsize the government. And we're going to have to do it pretty soon. Otherwise, we're not going to have a republic. So, all right, freedom fighters. Continue to watch your six. Continue to train. God bless America. And I'll see you next time.